harnessing the power of natural cycles is one of the healthiest things that you can do for yourself in order to really live a rich and fulfilling life, to be able to know when you can harness certain energies that are around, and also to help you move through when you're stuck in an unhealthy pattern and an unhealthy part of the cycle. Because everything revolves in cycles and there are cycles within cycles. But understanding that there is a natural waxing and waning that is continuous in every cycle, and that we can often get out of alignment with natural cycles by looping a certain stage. This is often I see the most in the stage of wanting to let go, like you understand that you've got some kind of block or trauma, and yet you're staying stuck in that trauma, in that story. With a healthy cycle, you will embrace it, understand it, fall deep into it, but you will also move through it and you'll let it go into a fresh cycle. And in fact, I like to see cycles rather than this circle that you just endlessly keep going around like a hamster wheel, as a spiral. So life spirals constantly, and if you're looking at a spinning spiral in front of you, it's difficult to know whether it's going up or down. And really, that's what we do. So we come round again to things, but we might be coming from a deeper perspective or a higher perspective that time. That's when we're moving with the healthy flow of what happens with the cycle of the moon, that time of the new moon where there's fresh beginnings, it's a fresh start, moving through that cycle to the fullness of the full moon before it begins to wane again. So just, that it just in a nutshell, that moon cycle, recognizing when energies are higher, how that affects our emotions, how that affects certain projects that we're working on, our relationships. Looking at the wheel of the year is a really easy way to see how there's a time for deep rest and stillness. That's a time to dream. The winter time, it's connected to the water element where, it's where we all started in water. It's the time where things can come out of nothing, ideas can come out of nowhere. It's not necessarily the time to act at that time, as in acting. At the time, the action comes in the making sure there's plenty of rest, listening, writing down your insights. Then there's a time to step into action, to know where you're going. And if you've done the dream time in a way that's really served you, you've got clarity, you're connected to your true values, your core self, to what lights you up. So when it comes to the time of growth, allowing that to come through, which is the springtime. The element is wood in Chinese medicine. It's that strong, penetrative energy that powers through. It's a time in the spring where everything starts to come to life. And it's the time when it's assertive action. You take that step forward. And that again can be a very strong boundary of saying no. It's not necessarily all action. And when we're in touch with our true self, we know what action is important and what's right at that time. It's a time of a project where it really starts to get off the ground. The summertime, which is that time of assimilation and celebration. And this is an area that we often miss out in our culture. In fact, when we talk about looping, we often get stuck in that first stage, like I've just started acting, or in the dream time, but never quite getting it off the ground. The summertime is a time to really take in the good of what you have created. It's a harvest, it's a time to harvest. This is something either we often skip over because we're too busy wanting to get on to the next stage or to loop back, start again, go into action. But when you allow yourself even that moment of going, what was great about today? I'm just going to assimilate. What was really good about that project that I've just finished, or the fact I've just washed the pots and I've done it. Feels good. The kitchen's clear. You know, those moments where we're taking in the good are really, really powerful when we're letting things land. And it's also the element of fire in Chinese medicine where, fire can be really joyful and it can also be out of balance. It can be too much celebration. So the cycles are always showing us how we can be in balance, how we can keep moving. As you go into the autumn time, that's a time of letting go. It's a time of reflection, of really what works, what's working now, what's not working, how am I going to go forward? So when you go into that dream time, you have that time where you're empty or you've emptied out. You're not going around with the same old baggage, basically. So then you're kind of cutting this hamster wheel feeling and you're allowing yourself to spiral. If you're looking at that in the day, that simple reflection in the evening, how did I do today? How could I have been more skilled? How can I go into dream time fully rested with a clarity of how I'm going to behave tomorrow? How am I going to act? What am I going to do to support myself better? How am I going to really allow this to be celebrated, to take in the good? All this, what am I going to let go of now? Or what action will I take tomorrow in order to release that? So these cycles keep us healthy. They're everywhere in nature. They're always teaching us, and they allow you to keep gaining that higher perspective and also the depths of life to experience life at deeper levels. My name's Leanne Campbell. I'm a life and wellbeing coach, and I specialize in somatic practices. And one of the things that I really love to integrate into this is the nature's rhythm cycle, the way that we operate, whether we have all of the elements being rooted, grounded, earthed in ourselves, having that time where we flow, where we're celebrating, where we're letting go. That there is a time to wring out your soul. There's also a time to move through. And these cycles really help to keep us healthy. So whether you might be in the summertime in a project in the depth of winter, but using the energy that's around at that time, it might be that you're in the new moon, but at that time you're at the height of your project, but you can take these natural cycles and really work magic in your life, become an alchemist of using what's around in order to create a life that's fulfilling, that is magical, that where you're in, you can really connect with your deep joy, and that you're using your gifts in a way that is really beneficial to you. And if it's beneficial to you, it's going to be beneficial to the collective. And now more than ever, it's time to regain this wisdom, to embrace what is there for us, to really use our full potential and to thrive. I'm also co-creator of a Handpicked Life, and if you'd like to know more about us and dive into this work a little more, then sign up below and receive a free workshop, which will help you to begin to understand three principles that we work with, which is reflection, getting to know yourself through practice and educating yourself on different systems and ways of living, and also aligned action. So you're living in a way that's aligned with your true core self and your potential. So if you've enjoyed this, please leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, sign up and enjoy the workshop and let us know how you get on. Thank you for your time. Thanks for joining me.